Welcome to the channel, guys. My name is Jess. So Bitcoin has seen a massive pullback over the last week, dropping over 7% and tapping $89,000. As the price approaches a crucial level of support on the daily timeframes, let's talk about the probabilities of a bounce here and the consequences of a further correction, because the price action of the next couple of days could determine the trajectory of Bitcoin and altcoins for months to come. Before we get into all that though, make sure you guys smash that like button and subscribe to the channel to get regular Bitcoin analysis every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. If you're after even more content, be sure to check out my free Telegram channel, and if you're interested in my VIP channel, you can get more details over here. VIP gives you exclusive access to my personal trading setups with exact entry points, targets, and stop losses. Alrighty guys, so diving into the charts, let's really quickly take a look at what on earth has happened with Bitcoin in the last week before we dive into our analysis. So moving into the week here, we can see it's been very, very brutal. We're only on Wednesday today, but so far we have seen about a 7% correction, right? Topping out here at 99,000. Now that was the rally that we saw here after breaking out of that ascending triangle structure we identified in that very last video. So we were just shy of the measured move, which should have been around $100,000, so it slightly missed the mark there, but there were some warning signs. So if you guys did follow along on my Telegram, unfortunately I wasn't in any state to make a video throughout the week. I've been really sick this week, but I did put some updates in the Telegram. We had a lot of bearish divergence moving into this sort of upper range. We had a bearish structure developing. There was an ascending channel here, and following that breakdown we saw that sort of measured move applied there to take us to this level of support. And in losing the prior low here, we ended up seeing this massive correction here. I think that was only just this morning or yesterday morning, so tapping $90,000. Now if we take a look at the recent correction here on the daily time frame, we can see that we've actually touched this next really crucial level of support here on the daily chart, and it is important because of the, I guess, lack of supports following that really crucial daily chart up here. Even if we take a look at the VIPV, we have a very significant volume drop off following. So if we do not hold this level of support, it's very likely that we have quite, large consequences and a much larger bearish move. So with that in mind, let's take a look at Bitcoin on the short time frame, dive into our analysis, and then talk about the recent crash in relation to altcoins and how Total 3 has held throughout this sort of period of downwards price action and what that signals for the future. Before we get into the rest of the video, guys, let's hear a quick word from our sponsor, BTC.D, where you can get 15% off all of your trading fees and up to $5,500 in sign-up rewards when you create your free account using the link down in my description box. BTC is an emerging cryptocurrency exchange committed to providing you with a secure, convenient, and highly functional trading and investment platform. Available across all countries as a non-KYC exchange, get global access to over 150 trading pairs with minimal fees on both spot and futures contracts. Join today to get $5,500 in sign-up rewards and get 15% off all of your trading fees by signing up using the link in my bio or by using the code 1GG3 when you create your account. Alrighty guys, so diving into the short time frame chart, let's first of all talk about the relevant levels that we have here and then we need to be watching out for in both a bullish and a bearish continuation. So on the daily chart, we had that really crucial level of support here, ranging from 88.7 to 91.4 thousand dollars, and we can see that sort of very similar level here on the 4-hour chart. So we have the sell side liquidity for this crucial horizontal base of support here. So the base of support itself is at 89.3. Sell side liquidity is 88.7, the exact same as the base of that daily. So that tells us straight away in terms of bearish continuation, if we fall below sell side liquidity there, we risking essentially losing support here on the daily chart and seeing it that much higher time frame bearish correction. And then in terms of the top of that base of support here on the short time frame, we can see $92,000 being that sort of relevant liquidity zone that is being defended as a base of support right now. In terms of resistances, we have two key ones here, preventing Bitcoin from re-entering that prior range of consolidation and retesting the all-time high, and that is at 95,000. Right, it was a prior level of resistance over here when we broke out. We rejected from 95k, retested 94 as a base of support, and in breaking above 95 finally we rallied to 98,000. So, sorry, a lot of numbers there. 95K is a really strong level of resistance here. As we can see, it's the start of a volume gap. So breaking above that, we're likely to see quite a rapid move back up into this range here. So crucial level of resistance. And then, of course, we have that sort of change of character, the prior range low for this prior horizontal range at 95.8 thousand, not very far away, and once again within that sort of volume gap. Sorry guys, I'm gonna have to clear my throat a couple times in this video. I'm still losing my voice a little bit. So we have our relevant levels of resistance. Now let's talk about the probabilities of either a breakdown and a move back upwards. And to do that, we're going to have to zoom in a little bit onto the hourly chart. So on the hourly chart here, we can see that the price action is really trying to recover and bounce at this level of support. We have two instances of bullish divergence here at the prior lows here, right? We've got a lower low on the price action twice, and we have two higher lows on the RSI. So we're seeing a shift in selling pressure, we're seeing decreasing selling pressure, and a positive shift in buying pressure over here in bullish momentum. So much so that we have actually broken above the downtrend developed at this top here at $99,000, right? So the weakness exhibited over the last week or the last couple of days that have led to this correction is exhausting, right? So we're seeing bearish exhaustion here and a trend flip, at least on the RSI, so leading indication that we're starting to see a reversal over here and we're at support. So we've got horizontal and momentum indication here that we're seeing a bottom. Now if we take a look at the structures here on the hourly time frame, we can actually see a bullish one once again. We are developing a broadening descending wedge here on the hourly chart, right? Another pattern of reversal. So after that correction there, this sort of consolidation period is one of accumulation with confirmation from RSI is very, very bullish. It's telling us that we have a high probability of seeing a reversal at this low here at $90,000 or $91,000. Now, if we take a look at the measured move for this breakout here, that is the height of the broadening wedge at the widest point. And if we apply that to the breakout point, let's say that happens. I'm assuming it's going to happen overnight because in Australia, that just seems to always happen. That takes us right back into this range over here, pushing us above these levels of resistance. Now, that doesn't guarantee anything. This is just a structure and this is just a potential measured move. But if we go on to break above those structures here and break above these levels of resistance, we can then expect a sort of play out of this measured move. That is the next sort of target that we have. So be wary of these levels still. That doesn't mean that, these levels of resistance have been negated, which I'm sure you guys know. And it takes us to go on to retest this really crucial level of resistance, which, that sort of double rejection from led to this sort of massive downwards move in the first place. So $98.5 to $98.8 thousand. And clearing that resistance, then we can expect a retest of the all-time high and a sort of macro recovery, right, in breaking above that and re-entering price discovery. Now, in the circumstance that we do not, fulfill this pattern structure and it invalidates and we fall below the structure here and we lose support at $90,000, things look genuinely bearish in the loss of $88,700, as I've already explained, right? This prior sell-side liquidity. So moving forward, the way we can kind of conceptualize the price action is above 95K. We are entering a short time frame bullish range. We're entering the prior range of consolidation where we can expect, in breaking above prior resistances, a retest of the all-time high and a bullish continuation, a macro bullish continuation into price discovery, right? A full-on trend reversal. Within this range, things are sort of neutral. Nothing of actual consequences happening. Sure, we might be developing patterns that go on to have consequence, but the price action within is not having any severe sort of, forward playing actions, right? We're above support and we're below key resistance. We are just simply chopping. That's our neutral zone. And then below that, below $88,000 is when things start to look bearish. One other way we can sort of conceptualize this, if we want to zoom back out to the 4-hour time frame, is if you guys remember that prior structure we had that I spoke about in that very last video, that sort of ascending triangle here. If we just take a look at that trend line applied over the last 2-week period, we can see that essentially all we've done is we've lost the uptrend. Now in the loss of that uptrend, we've gone on to essentially retest the levels of support coinciding with the prior low, that very same low that exists at our sell side liquidity point, right? So in dropping below that, we enter a downtrend, forming a lower low here on the 4-hour charts. And once again, that signals a high probability of a higher time frame downwards correction, a further bearish move. So we have the prior lows below that, we have our range low, and falling below that range low there at $85,000, we have this sort of the apex of our volume gap there, where we can expect to move even further to $82,000. So that's how we can kind of conceptualize the price action moving forward. This is the beginning of our short time frame bearish zone. Now that is a wrap on Bitcoin, guys. Hopefully you guys know exactly what to be looking out for moving forward in both an upwards and downwards move, and also the probabilities of both of those scenarios. Now let's move on to the rest of the cryptocurrency market. Let's talk about total 3 and Bitcoin dominance, and the behavior that we've seen from both of those in the recent crash from Bitcoin. So in a video that I made a while ago, I think I talked about the 2 stages of the beginning of the parabolic phase for altcoins, right, or the altcoin season. And the first one starts off with Bitcoin having quite an aggressive correction amidst the bull market, right? So we're probably in a period of price discovery. We have a local top, as we've just recently seen, and we see some sort of correction here from Bitcoin. Now, in that correction, the very first sign that we're seeing the beginning of the altcoin cycle, when we're talking about, Bitcoin dominance here, is altcoins actually tend to hold quite steady. We see most of them, drop a little, obviously, but not as much as Bitcoin, and some of them even hold steady. For example, if we take a look at BRET, I know it's a meme coin, but the last couple of days, it hasn't done very much, right? Bitcoin's been going down very, very aggressively. And if we take a look at the actual daily candle closes here on BRET, not much significance, right? And taking a look at Bitcoin dominance, we can see here, it has massively dropped over the last couple of days from 61.5 to 58.3%, which is absolutely huge for Bitcoin dominance, particularly, considering the last 2 years of movement here. So the very first stage we've already started to see. Now in the second stage is Bitcoin dominance bounces, right? Assuming we are continuing in that bull run phase, and then altcoins rally massively more, right? We see that is when we start to see altcoins massively outperform Bitcoin in the second stage of this sort of rotation of wealth, I guess. I don't really know how to phrase that, but like we're seeing money rotate out of Bitcoin into altcoins in this sort of crash, right? And then after that rotation, in the second sort of phase of that rotation, altcoins rally really, really aggressively in comparison to Bitcoin and start to really outperform. So currently, if we take a look at Bitcoin dominance, we are still very much within that sort of 2-year-long uptrend. Now in that secondary phase, in this bounce from Bitcoin, when we finally see it, we're very likely to then, after this exhibition of strength from altcoins in that very first phase that we've just sort of seen, a massive correction here for Bitcoin dominance and a massive rally for total 3. Especially since, if we take a look at the total 3 chart, we've also just had a weekly candle close above this dead cat bounce level of resistance, which in the past has then triggered a parabolic move to retest the range high over here. So that's at 1.13 trillion. And generally, or usually, we enter price discovery there for the total 3 market cap. So while Bitcoin has had a little bit of a rough time, I think, personally, I do think it's much more likely that we're bottoming here. And in that bottom, altcoins and total 3 is where to be paying a lot of attention as well. We're looking for that drop in Bitcoin dominance. We're looking for the loss of this uptrend here. And that signal that money is definitely rotating into altcoins. Alrighty guys, that is all the analysis that I have for you today. If you enjoyed the video or you learned something, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. If you're after even more content, be sure to check out my free Telegram for daily updates as well as crypto and economic news. And if you're interested in my VIP channel, you can get more details over here. VIP gives you exclusive access to my personal trading setups with exact entry points, targets, and stop losses. And if you are a trader, don't forget to sign up down below to BitUnext to get 15% off all of your trading fees. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.